The blue side of London that supports Chelsea is definitely a happy side. We can tell you that. Julien nodding his head in agreement for this one, because there was a lot of concerns on Frank Lampard and this youthful looking side and whether they'd be able to hang with the big boys in the Premier League. And so far so good. 13 out of Chelsea's 18 Premier League goals so far this season, and we know it's early doors, have been scored by their academy players, and it's just amazing to see, what they've been going to. Where have they impressed you the most, Jules, or who has impressed you the most?
I mean, the three kids, obviously, that everybody has been talking about, Tomori, Abraham and Mount, have, they're the standout one, really. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to come into the team now. We saw him against Southampton. He was very good, and it will be another one there. And I think you could expect those four to start very, very, very regularly this season. Tomori, I think, has approached already 100 games at top level, whether he was in the Championship with Hull or Derby County or with Chelsea, which is quite impressive for someone who's just 21. I think he's very solid. He's improving quickly on the ball, I think. He made a few mistakes against Southampton in his positioning, but again...
But forgivable.
Yeah, forgivable. And that will come, and he will improve. And I think he looks like he's got all the attributes to be a very solid centre-back. Mason Mount has always been the one I preferred, because I saw him with Derby County last season, where he was head and shoulders above everyone else in that league, and not just in his own team and his own squad, but all around Championship. He was that number 10, right foot, left foot, the movement, the energy, the intelligence, all of that he had it. It was just a question of how long would it take him to adapt to the Premier League. Would he have to change something? And he has fit in there so well. I prefer when he plays a more central role, behind Abraham, or even the two up front, and he's sort of like second striker kind of thing, more than wide. I think that suits him better, and we saw that again against Southampton on Sunday. That plays well. And then Abraham, when you score so much in the Championship, there's obviously, he's ready for the Premier League. Let's see if he can do it. A lot of players have scored loads in the lower leagues and never made it, never cut it in the Premier League. So there was all that big question mark, which I think was fair. It was just not, you're rubbish and we dismiss you even before you start. It was just, let's see, because people before you didn't make it, didn't cut it. But he's clearly adapted so well after a few couple of games where I think he needed to find his feet. Against United, he hit the post. Maybe that would have changed something, and he would have adapted even quicker had he scored that goal early on against De Gea. But he's done so well in his kind of style and of ability to adapt. He scored in the Champions League as well, which again is another mark of like, where are you in that kind of level? And I think his goal against Lille would have given him a lot of confidence. So those three for me, no problem. Hudson-Odoi, we saw him a bit more last year, already at that level. Great. What I liked after the Southampton game is when Tammy Abraham said in his interview, saying, I knew exactly where Callum would put the ball. I knew he would play first time. And I think that's what you get as well. Those guys have been playing together.
Team.
Yeah, they've been playing together since they're 6. So of course, Hudson-Odoi knows exactly what kind of run Tammy Abraham is going to make. Mount the same. And I think you get that if you're Frank Lampard. You get the sort of like them being so used to play together. And I think if you balance it with experience, Willian, Jorginho, Conte, then Rudiger, I think you're into a big winning formula.
Well, speaking of that winning formula, just how far do you see it going, and when could we see it? Because we know that, of course, Chelsea are going to get over the transfer ban, and Frank Lampard is going to look to bolster his squad, possibly with some big names. Some would argue bigger names than the young boys that we're seeing now, because they have more time on their hands. So, where do you see their future lying, and can Frank Lampard win a Premier League title with this current crop of players?
I can't see why not. Really, he will.
When?
That's the thing. I mean, he needs a bit more experience for sure.
Yeah.
He still makes mistakes. We saw that in certain games against Leicester at home earlier in the season, where things were not right just then. But we see his team now being far more in control. So he's learning and he's passing on that to the squad and to the team, which I think is very good. I still think they need a bit more depth in the squads to be able to challenge. I still think they're way behind Liverpool and Man City, who might not stay at that level forever either. So maybe in 2 years' time, where Chelsea are a bit more like this, and Liverpool and Chelsea, because their cycles anyway, are maybe less strong as they are now, and things are a bit more level up, then I think they will have a chance. That is, if they can keep everyone happy, everyone fit. A player like Willian, for example, whose contract is coming to an end, what's happened to him, I think it would be a huge loss to them. But then Christian Pulisic, at some point, he will get better. So it's hard to tell exactly when they can challenge, but I think the idea is there, the project is there, and like you said, when the transfer ban is lifted and they will have that money to invest, they will get a stronger team. And I think I can't see why not they can't compete.
Okay, so plain and simple, pretty good times to be at Chelsea now.